thing, after your prayer here, you will be accompanied by my tour assistants, just very short distance to the famous place where in 1611, okay, as found in 1603, finally she appeared in 1611. And for those who are history buffs, it is the same year when anybody who's Chinese, when some more than 20,000 Chinese all over the country were actually massacred as a decree brought down by the Spanish government, wherein believing that the Chinese are also collaborating with some natives as to the massacre of some Spanish generals. Now, with that massacre, it also revealed a particular or one very prominent miracle that had happened. One of the stonemasons that was part of the group doing the beautiful stone arts, napakaganda ko doon, yung pupunta nyo. A certain Hai Bing, a Chinese name, who when Christianized became Huan Imbing. He was sharing a story that he was one of those witnessed by people when many Chinese were massacred. And then the next day he was surprisingly seen at the doorstep, and only to share to everyone that he sort of was into a dream that one old lady, very short, with very long hair, dark face, was pushing him to safety to the shore. Many believed him. Many believed he was really saved, and in that case, Hai Bing was one of those really given that recognition as one of the very first miracle of the Virgin of Kaysasay. I put emphasis on the Chinese, all because in Chinese folk deity, if you're too familiar, they adore or they give credit or recognition to a certain Mama Machu or Mama Macho. And to them, it's the goddess of the sea or the patroness of the seafarers. Ganun din po sa Kaysasay. For the many Chinese in La Union, especially this month of September, all of them flock to Taal. All of them would have to stay overnight and get into a vigil. They will just have to combine Kaysasay and Mama Machu, kasabihang Kainchikan, Katagalugan, all together, they will have to get into the veneration, and for which kaguluho ang tawag dito. When I was a small boy, I remember the Chinese celebration or the visit to Kaysasay was even grander. They will have to occupy the whole school. Ay, alam niyo naman, yung mga tao ay walang hiya ngayon. Ha? Ang mga tao ngayon, yung mga malalaking kandilang pula ng inche, ay ninanakaw na. Hindi pa nga liap-liap ng katakot-takot ay kinukuha na. So probably, but because of the change of lifestyle, well, the very tight schedule of the many, it led into something like it's a little bit lessened. But still, the many Chinese from San Fernando, La Union would have to come here, busload, puno po ito, and would get into something like giving veneration or recognition to the Mama Machu. They brought their Mama Machu and to Kaysasay into something like declaring and believing Mama Machu and Kaysasay are just one and the same. I also have been to Candelaria, Quezon. Now, every year, dinadanaw siya sa Candelaria, Quezon, and you will be surprised the likes of Jaworski, some other prominent personalities are just as devoted to her. Ay kami pagpasok pa lang ho sa arko ng welcome arch nung Candelaria, ay ang Birhen no ay nakalagay, hindi nyo na makikita ang mukha because all of the Chinese, all of the devotees would have to walk barefoot and really until it reaches the church. Pagdating na simbahan, wala na kayong mapupuan. All of them will have to get into a long queues, all because they would like to experience the putong. Putong is patong actually. No? The image, the original image is actually placed on top of your head. And something like in you, for you to pray, for you to believe that you can be healed. Now, I know anyone who has ever at all asked her, the miracle or the wish is granted sooner than expected. I can say this because I have been into something like, well, not taking down notes, but in my memory, I know a lot of people. So in here, there's this the spiritual healing. In that particular place, there is the physical healing. Why so? Down the arch are two wells. Two wells, spring water. Whether it's dry or wet season, the same level of water. And I was just blaming, or I would always have to remind the candle vendors, please do not declare or promote it as a wishing well. Kasi kaya ako ginagawang wishing well ay minsan may natitirang barya ay kinukuha nila. But the truth of the matter is, it's actually miraculous wells of Santa Lucia. I don't know if by coincidence you will have to be meeting some other people wherein they would have to put water in this mineral water bottle and bring it home and give it to a sick person, or after the prayer here, or really some of them would even have to get into a mini comfort room there or a mini bathroom there wherein they will have to douse water, or while there on the spot they will just have to get a part or a little amount of the water and apply it in some ailing parts of the body, or whatever that you would have to ask for. This is the exact place when in 1603, when two women, both named Maria, while gathering firewood, was surprised that while they were about to drink water from a typical balloon, they saw the reflection of the missing image wherein it was actually on top of a sampaga tree. Nowadays, hardly that you can see any sampaga, but as old folks say, it's similar to sampaguita. It's the bushy type of plant. On top of the sampaga, and finally she appeared. And from there, she was brought to the chapel. Now, this chapel was built sometime in the late 1600s, made out of all coral stones. And more importantly, that for you to know, there are only two churches declared in the Philippines. There are only two churches declared something like what can be the plenary indulgence is granted. No? The Shrine of Manaoag and the Shrine of Maysasay. There are some Vatican documents hung there wherein it says that for that particular time or in one schedule, the plenary indulgence is actually being granted in this church. So dalawa lang po ito. If we talk about, this is actually the counterpart of Mary Majore. No?
Maria
The very
Majore.
first church that Pope Francis visited after installation. So ito po ang counterpart of that particular church dito sa Pilipinas. Okay, so from here, after your quiet prayer, you can go. You will have to be accompanied by the waiting candle vendors. In fact, some candle vendors would gladly share to you some beautiful stories. In the same manner that you will have to exit. When you exit, a portion of the flight of steps, no? Hindi ko naman ini-require kayong mga seniors to try it up and down, no? But at least a portion of it can be a good photo op or photo shoot, wherein these are all out of Pietrelcina. And when people ask what was the very purpose of these stones as it reached this particular place, well, history would tell these were just actually basically used as ballast or balancers in the galleons or in the ships that have sailed through Pansipit River and the Balayan Lake. Okay, so ika ngay pangbigat lamang. You will be surprised ay talagang habang-haba naman. Habang-haba at pagkagaganda pa. Okay? Oh yes.